In the year 1749, in a quiet countryside village of England, a boy named Edward Jenner was born. No one knew at that time that this curious and thoughtful child would one day change the history of medicine forever. During Jenner's childhood, the world was living in constant fear of a deadly disease known as smallpox. This terrifying illness spread quickly from person to person, causing high fever, painful blisters all over the body, and in many cases death. Millions of people around the world lost their lives to smallpox, and those who survived were often left with deep scars on their faces and bodies for the rest of their lives. Entire towns lived in fear whenever the disease appeared, and families prayed desperately to stay safe because doctors had no reliable cure at that time. As Edward Jenner grew up, he became very interested in science, nature, and the human body. He carefully observed people around him and loved learning how diseases affected the human body. Determined to help people, he decided to study medicine and eventually became a doctor. While working as a physician in the countryside, Jenner began noticing a strange and interesting pattern among local milkmaids who worked with cows every day. Many of these milkmaids sometimes caught a mild disease called cowpox, which caused small blisters on their hands and slight illness, but it was not dangerous. What surprised Jenner the most was that these milkmaids almost never became infected with smallpox, even when deadly outbreaks were spreading through nearby towns. This observation made Jenner curious and thoughtful. He began to wonder if catching cowpox somehow protected people from the deadly smallpox virus. For many years, this idea stayed in his mind as he continued studying and observing patients. Finally, in the year 1796, Edward Jenner decided to test his idea through a scientific experiment. One day, a milkmaid named Sarah Nelms came to him with cowpox blisters on her hand after working with an infected cow. Jenner carefully collected a small sample from one of the blisters. He then chose a young boy named James Phipps, who was 8 years old, to test his theory. Jenner gently scratched the boy's arm and placed a small amount of the cowpox material into the tiny cut. After a few days, the boy developed a mild fever and felt slightly sick. But his symptoms were not serious, and he soon recovered completely. Jenner waited patiently for several weeks before taking the next step in his experiment. This step was risky and required great courage because Jenner then exposed the boy to the deadly smallpox virus to see if his theory was correct. Everyone was nervous and unsure about what would happen next. But something amazing occurred. The boy did not become sick at all. The cowpox infection had successfully protected him from smallpox. This moment became one of the most important discoveries in medical history. Edward Jenner realized that he had found a way to protect people from one of the deadliest diseases on Earth. He called this new method vaccination, a word that came from the Latin word vacca, meaning cow, because the protection came from cowpox. At first, many people and doctors were skeptical of Jenner's idea and did not believe that such a simple method could stop such a powerful disease. However, as more experiments were conducted and more people were vaccinated, the results continued to prove Jenner's discovery correct. Slowly, vaccination began spreading across countries and continents, protecting millions of people from smallpox. Over time, scientists improved vaccination methods and developed many new vaccines to fight other dangerous diseases. Jenner's simple but brilliant idea started a medical revolution that continues even today. His discovery eventually led to one of humanity's greatest achievements. After nearly 2 centuries of vaccination efforts around the world, smallpox was completely defeated. In the year 1980, global health organizations officially declared that smallpox had been eradicated from the planet, making it the first human disease ever eliminated by medical science. Because of his groundbreaking work, Edward Jenner is now remembered as the father of vaccination. His curiosity, courage, and determination saved billions of lives and changed the future of medicine forever. Today, every vaccine that protects people from diseases is part of the legacy that began with Edward Jenner's simple observation in a quiet English village many centuries ago.